Well, guys, it's an official wrap for the Express Entry program for the year 2022. One of the most famous and the most efficient programs, as it may, for Canadian immigration is finally wrapped up for the year. It's now time to look at the report card. How the program performed, how many people were invited, what were the kind of draws, what were the changes that were brought in the particular year, what kind of scores and cutoffs can you expect in the year 2023, what were the important changes with regards to Express Entry are the main topics of the day. Please be sure to watch till the end. My name is Sahil. Guys, welcome back once again. My name is Sahil and I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant and I practice in Ontario. My office is here. If you have to get in touch with me, my number is on the screen and the details are there in the description box. More than happy to talk to you. Guys, before we proceed any further, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button and the bell icon because we talked a lot about Canadian immigration. And if you are an aspirant of coming to Canada, then this is the channel that you must be subscribed to all the time. So guys, talking about the famous Express Entry program, how it performed in the year 2022 and what are going to be the big changes in the year 2023, that is the main topic of the day. Now guys, Express Entry program gives relief to tons of people who are outside Canada. Hundreds and thousands of people outside and inside Canada both tend to apply for their permanent residency through this program. It's an online application system that the IRCC uses. People can claim points in it, and once they start claiming points, they're either put in FSW or CC, and then people are put in the FST category as well, the Federal Skilled Trades, the Federal Skilled Worker, and the Canadian Experience class. If you try to create a profile in Express Entry, you would see yourself either fitting in the FSW, which is the Federal Skilled Worker. If you have Canadian experience, you would see yourself fitting in the CEC, the Canadian Experience class, and people working in the trades like plumbers, electricians would see themselves fitting in the FST category. Now, while all of these categories have their separate requirements, it broadly focuses on around draws. IRCC holds a draw every 15 days or maybe every month or however they please. Generally, it's held every fortnight. So every 15 days or 2 weeks, they hold a draw. Everybody who's sitting above this particular draw is invited for permanent residency. They have then 60 days to submit the documents to IRCC online. They will process it and then they will send the person a permanent resident visa for them to travel to Canada. So this is the overall process. Now, the Express Entry program has been running for several years, but unfortunately, due to COVID, in the year 2020, they stopped giving out the draws, which meant people could no more get these permanent resident visas, and they were using the other programs, for example, the PNP programs and the other programs to come to for coming to Canada. Now, the draws stopped in 2020, but they finally resumed in the year 2022. That is why the year 2022 happens to be a special year, that in the month of July, IRCC decided to resume the draws. They started off with a 1500 cutoff with a 1500 invitation at a 557 cutoff, and they finally reached the November 23rd draw of 491. Unfortunately, the 491 draw was the last draw for the year 2022, and people have been stopped. About 4750 invitations were given out in the year. In the month of November 2022, they started rolling out a change for the NOC system, which is the way how Canada sees your occupation. So they had implemented the NOC 2021 system, due to which the Express Entry system started undergoing glitches. Now, those glitches through the system of balance, people started receiving ITAs even though they did not meet the minimum entry criteria. For example, people who were not supposed to be in the Canadian Experience class category did receive an invitation. So happened with the PNP candidates as well. So this created a havoc and people started receiving invitations and then they started submitting files. IRCC recognized that glitch and decided to stop the draws once again. Now, unfortunately, almost the entire December has gone by and people have still not seen these draws come back. Okay, so entire December there has been no draw and people are still waiting for them. But overall, Express Entry happens to be one of the most efficient systems. But if you look at about the draws nowadays, 491 happens to be quite high. for somebody to reach that particular draw, you're looking at people who have, maybe relatives in Canada, people who know English, potentially French as well, people who already have a master's, more than 3 years of experience, of course. People do gel up their Canadian experience as well to bring a score that high, or maybe they have 50 points for an LMIA, then also they can go that high. So all in all, guys, 491 is a very high draw at the moment. Well, we're giving reference to this last draw only because this was the last draw, but this happens to be a bigger draw. When you're talking about a draw that is that high, there are only handful and meaningful ways to reach that particular category. Now, we will segregate the public in two sections. One, people who do not have Canadian experience, and one is the people who have Canadian experience, right? For people who are outside Canada, guys, unfortunately, there are only two avenues to reach that score. If you want to reach above 490, you're looking at, probably learning French or getting job offers. LMIA is worth 50 points or 200 points. That is the section that can take you there. If you are a person with roughly about 28, 29 years of age, masters, and a 3-year and over experience of international experience, and probably you have a sibling living in Canada, about 478, 480, 485 is the zone that you will hit. Anything beyond that will take in extra efforts of learning French, job offers, maybe education in Canada, right? All of that is required. The other section where people have Canadian experience are once again people who have very good English and have probably a master's degree already, have taken a degree or a diploma in Canada, then gone for Canadian experience. Those are the people who are reaching the scores above 500. So that's a two bucket, the stark difference between the two buckets. The reason why we are seeing so many high draws above 500 is because the public with Canadian experience and Canadian education is on a rise altogether. If you look at last year, the report card that was given by IRCC themselves, it said that they have processed a record number of work permits and student permits. Above 600,000 student permits have been processed. So guys, imagine the year to come, 2023. Now talking about how 2023 is going to look like. The year to come is going to be very dramatic because of two main reasons. One, Bill C-19 has been rolled out, has been approved in the month of July 2022, will be rolled out in 2023. We already know that 2023 spring will be the time when IRCC will roll out the buckets that they are going to invite people under. And then the summer of 2023, you will see the actual application of Bill C-19. Bill C-19, what it essentially says is that it gives IRCC the autonomy or the authority to choose the kind of people that they want to bring. For example, I'm just giving an example. So for example, if IRCC minister says that I want truck drivers over 350, I want Canadian experience class over 400, and then I want federal skilled worker above 500. These are the buckets. I want people in these categories to get a draw. Those are the kind of controls that Bill C-19 is giving IRCC, and the mid of 2023 is going to be dramatic because we don't know what the buckets are going to look like, but the change is going to be in this fashion, right? So they will be making buckets and they will be inviting people out of these buckets. So people with Canadian experience could be in a separate bucket. People in essential healthcare or all of that could be in a separate bucket. We're still due to see that. The second bigger reason of why 2023 onwards will be a special year, because 2023 a lot of work permits and study permits are being processed. Lot of public policies for open work permits are being processed. Extensions are being given. People have been given PGWP extensions of 18 months. IRCC is especially focusing on work permits for Canada. They want to increase the Canadian experience class category. They are also giving work permits, then giving them spousal open work permits so that the whole family can come there. Study permit extensions have been made easy. They have been automated. So that will give people an autonomy to study here, to extend their studies and claim a higher range of work permit later, right? So if you look at this whole trend of the public policies and everything, what Canadian immigration is meaning to do is that they're trying to engage people in Canadian experience, bringing them over on temporary status, making them work here for some years, and then they can build their eligibility towards PR. So you understand the paradigm shift. Earlier, FSW was the biggest one. people outside Canada could directly come here, get a PR. Now they want people to first come here on temporary basis and then they do it. Although it's not been confirmed, on public on the face of it, but if you look at the programs, it's clearly visible. Like you can very well identify the change. So that's the change that I'm talking about. In the coming years, if you have Canadian experience, you will be a better candidate. That's what my assumption is. I could be wrong, I don't care, but that's what I'm noting. FSW draws have already gone high, right? So it's now not normal for people with just a master's and 3 years of international experience to come to Canada. It's getting impossible for them. So for people here, it's going to be good for you. It's looking already very promising. Expect some good news and policies to be rolled out, or at least some relief under Bill C-19 for everybody who's outside Canada. French will lead the way, guys. French is going to play an important role for all of you, and obviously job offers, LMIAs are going to be extremely important as always, because that will be your way out. As Canada changes, the LMIAs, there could be several changes around the work permit, the point allocation as well. So Bill C-19 once again will let us know what exactly are the kind of changes that are coming. So guys, all in all, express entry will still continue to be an important lever. IRCC has finally caught hold of this lever. They are changing under Bill C-19. They will utilize this to their benefit, and which they have already taken an approval under Bill C-19. So we are yet to see. So wait for the summer of 2023 to identify what changes are coming. And if you want a permanent residency, you might want to consider study permits and work permits if at the moment learning French or other job offers are not your piece of cake. Guys, I hope the video today was very helpful and insightful. It gave you much insights into the whole aspect of Canadian immigration and how do you want to plan Canadian immigration. If you want to plan your immigration steps and strategy, feel free to schedule a consultation with me. I would be more than happy to work around your case and help you build an effective strategy for coming to Canada, like we have done for several people. Guys, I wish you all the best, and I really hope to see you soon in Canada. All the best.